Today we are filming my favorite video, everything that I made this year, or everything that I made in 2023. If you're new here, my name is Kate. I like to make clothes here on YouTube and talk about thrifting and fashion. So make sure you subscribe so we can hang out. Before we start, I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you remember my last everything I made this year video, then you truly have been here since the beginning. I just want to say that I appreciate you so much, whether you've been here for a year or if you're finding me through this video. Thank you so much for watching. I have so much gratitude towards you. So here's a kiss. I love looking back at all of my old projects and kind of like the progress that I've made. I started sewing this year. I definitely have tried out a lot of new stitches with knitting and crocheting. So yeah, hopefully you can get some inspo from any of these projects. This is going to be a long video, so let's just jump right into it. Again, I have my laptop here to reference photos because I do sell a lot of these pieces online, so I don't have like the physical item with me. So we're going to start in January. The first thing that I made in January was this skirt. So this was my first ever sewn garment, which is kind of crazy to look back on. I did little pleats and elastic in the back, and I do still wear this despite it being my first project and maybe not the best thing ever, but I really do like it, and it's just a very simple mini skirt. It's definitely ripping at the top a little bit, so I'm gonna have to fix it. So yeah, first sewn garment ever, and then first project of the year. So the next project I'm actually wearing right now, it's my raglan sweater that I knit at the beginning of this year. I knit this sweater for a tutorial that's on my channel. So many of you guys have followed this tutorial and sent me pictures, and I just love seeing what you guys make from the kind of like guide videos or tutorials that I put out. It's just really cool to see. Never stop doing that. Please keep sending me things because I love to see what you guys make. This was knit with US 19 needles, so it's a little bit more flowy and loose. Okay, the next thing that I made were my last few minigru beanies of this season. I made a lot of these last year, but I don't know, I just haven't brought them back yet. Maybe in January I'll do a little minigru headband or beanie drop, but I also did a commission with this person's name, and I just really like all of these colors. In February, I crocheted a lot of berets, which was really fun. I liked all of the different kind of color combos that I did. I'll insert a picture of all of them. These were really fun to make. I was gonna do a tutorial, but I didn't get too much interest on it, so yeah, let me know. Let me know if you still want that because I think I have it written down somewhere. And I just really like berets. I think they're such an underrated accessory. Okay, next I made a bunch of little kind of gifty things for Valentine's Day. I made scrunchies. I made these heart granny square coasters. I made a few of these organza tote bags and scrunchies. And then I knit this little pillow. And then after I was sewing those tote bags and little scrunchies, I got a little bit ambitious and I made this top. She's cute on, but oof, it's not good. It was very early on in my sewing journey, and I kind of think of something that I want to make and then look stuff up and try to find like terminology and techniques and different things to kind of like build the garment that I want, and I learned those first. I don't know, I just think that's the way that my brain works the best. So this is the first time I ever did any gathering, and then also hemming. You gotta start somewhere. Next is this lace baby doll top. I actually love this top. I ended up selling it. I'm kind of bummed that I did. It is just a cute little baby doll tank and so good for layering. So the pattern is actually traced from an American Apparel dress that I own. I used this pattern a few more times and you'll see that. Next is this cute granny stitch skirt. I actually have been wanting to wear this a lot more recently just because it's colder. It is kind of counterintuitive because it's so holy. That's not the word. It's so like open, so you'd think it would be good for like spring, summer, but it's also wool, so it's warm. I think the best way to wear this is with tights. So now that it's winter, I can wear this over some tights and I think it would be really cute. The skirt was really fun to make and I do like the shape of it a lot. I like that it flares out a little bit instead of it being so straight. Next we have my Expression L earmuffs. Let me put them on. I love these so much, but when I made them, it started to warm up, so I didn't really get a good opportunity to wear them. But now that it's winter again, it's time to really get some use out of these. This pattern is available on Expression L's website, so definitely check it out. I'm gonna link it down below. I just love everything that Eloise makes. She is such a genius, and if you don't already, go follow her on Instagram. and YouTube. She has a YouTube channel. I've already been wearing them so much since it started cooling off. So now we're in March. A lot of these next pieces I actually don't have because they were part of my spring collection, and I made a whole video on me making a lot of these pieces. So the first one is this looser raglan tee. I really love the raglan tees. I have one that I kept for myself, and it's one of my most worn pieces. So I really like working worsted weight yarn with like a US 19 needle just to get this really kind of distressed look. It's pretty much impossible to get your tension perfect when you're working with such big needles and smaller yarn. I like that look, so that's kind of what I was going for here. Next is this tube top. I just made this from a valance curtain, I think is what you call it. This time of the year, I found the scrap exchange. I talk about the scrap exchange all the time in my videos, so if you're confused on what that is, it's a craft specific thrift store. So basically they have like all secondhand fabric, yarn, just art supplies, just random stuff. I go there once or twice a week, and this is where I found most of the fabric for all of these pieces and just like anything that I make. So back to the tube top. This was just made with a little curtain that I thrifted, and then it has a lining and I added the bow. This next piece I actually kept for myself. It's this tiered lace skirt. I actually wore this kind of recently. I think I wore it on a night out with a little bodysuit, but I was gonna sell this and no one bought it, so I kept it for myself, which I'm kind of glad. Next was another skirt. This was like the prettiest floral fabric. It's like a maxi skirt, but you could wear it as a dress. It just doesn't really have any shape, so I added a bow so you could like tie it in the back and kind of form it to your body, but you can also attach it to the front. And then, like I was saying before with that lace baby doll, I made a few more. So I have this floral one. I decided to add a little bit of lace trim on the sides, and then I also have this polka dot one. Then I have this dress, which was made from a vintage, I want to say, tablecloth. So I made this dress and it never sold. And then I made a little bit of a modification to it. I made it shirred, which I loved it after when I made it shirred. Then I randomly learned the shell stitch, which I quickly fell in love with. So I did this little open shell tank. So it ties up on the side, but it's like a beach cover up almost. And then I also made a tank top in this golden mohair color and added a little pink bow. This next piece is just like a super distressed fabric top. My friend's sister actually bought this and she's so cute in it. I love it. You can tie this a few different ways, but it is a really distressed top. And then this next piece is probably my favorite from this collection. It was this purple drop stitch cap sleeve tee. Oh my god, I loved this yarn. I loved working with it. It was so pretty. I think I just really like the color, and that's the first time that I tried the drop stitch. I do many other drop stitch pieces in the future. You'll see. That's foreshadowing for you. Okay, so now we're in April. Speaking of the drop stitch, I did this one. I actually wore this in a very recent video. I think I'm gonna keep it for myself. I've been trying to sell it for a while, but it just hasn't really sold, so I'll probably get some good wear out of it. It's just some thrifted yarn. The halo part of the mohair is like a lime green, and then the core is like more of a aqua green. Here it is close up so you can see. Then we did a little shell stitch skirt. This was just a straight skirt, but it was so cute as like a swimsuit cover up. I just used thrifted yarn for this one. Loved the color. I called it the matcha skirt because the color was so close to like a matcha latte. Okay, so then I knit my first bolero of the year. I think my only bolero of the year actually. It was a yarn by Plymouth Yarns. It was called like the Tuscan Air yarn. It was super light, so it was good for like a summery garment. I just made little bell sleeves and then I attached the bow. So this one sold at the first market that I ever did. By the way, I did start doing the markets in April. Okay, now we're into May. So I made another shell stitch skirt. So this was a commission and I just used this like really soft cotton yarn. It was the same thing as the matcha skirt, but I suggested that we flared it out a little bit. This one got lost in the mail. Yeah, I had to remake this, and I didn't mind doing it because she was someone that has like consistently been very supportive of me, so I really didn't mind remaking it and sending it back to her, but it did eventually get to her. Then next I learned how to shirr. This was just like a tube top that I made, super simple. It was just like a rectangle. Then I knit this cutout raglan top. And I really, really like the way that this turned out, and I don't know why I haven't tried to do it again. As you can see, my tension got super funky around the edges, so I do want to kind of practice and figure out how to improve that. But yeah, this was a cool piece, and you can wear it so many different ways, so maybe I'll start the year off with trying to improve this design, because I really do like the concept and just like versatility of it. Then I made my mom an apron for Mother's Day. This was just like a fun little side project. It was inspired by an anthropology one that I found online, and I already have one, so I kind of just traced off the one that I had. Okay, so this next dress is another shared piece. So this fabric I was kind of holding on to for a while just because I thought it was so pretty, but I didn't know how to use it. So I made it into this mini dress, but it's so cute. I'm short enough where I was able to wear this as a dress, even though it was like kind of a shorter dress, but you could also wear it as a top. And the person, can you guys tell that I get so excited when I see other people wearing things that I made? Because the person that bought this took a photo and tagged me on Instagram, and she looked so cute in it. I'm obsessed. Okay, so this plaid top was more of an advanced sewing project. This is when I was trying to kind of practice sewing a bit more, and I think I made this off of a bodice block. So if you don't know what a bodice block is, it's pretty much just you take like a bunch of measurements off your body and then you trace them on paper and make like a perfect fitting garment for you, and then you can kind of trace off of that bodice block, and that's what I did for this top. It was one of those really frustrating sewing projects that just like everything starts going wrong, and I like the contrast of the plaid with the lace and then the little rose detail. I just really like the mix of like masculine and feminine in this piece. Then I made this dress from an old pattern that I found. This was just another bed sheet. I make a lot of stuff with bed sheets, guys. Very cheap way to buy fabric. And look at me shirring again. So this was another shirred top, very inspired by Sandy Liang. I love the colors of this one. If this one didn't sell, then I would have probably kept it for myself. These two tops are so easy. It's just a rectangle of fabric and then you hem it and then share it. I keep sinking in my chair because my pillow keeps slipping. Then I made my first pair of shorts, and it was just this tablecloth that I found. Yeah, just super simple. Okay, now we're in June, so starting with another shell stitch skirt, and this is the one that I made for the tutorial. She's fun. She's a little beachy. This was the same yarn that I used for the other one, just a different color. And then with the same fabric as the shorts that I just showed you, I made a little matching set. So this was a little bit different because I didn't do elastic in the front, but I did it only in the back. And then I made a little matching top, and I made this off the bodice block as well. I brought this to a market where no one came to because it was so hot out, and it didn't sell, so now it belongs to me, which is awesome. And I also wear both pieces separately a lot. Like I'll wear the shorts with another top, or I'll wear the top with like a skirt or something. So then I made this little lounge set, and this is actually a funny story because the person that bought this is actually a close friend of mine now. I actually met her at the market that she bought this at. I don't think she watches my videos, but I'm teaching her how to knit right now. So hi Riley, if you're watching this. She's been in a few of my videos. Like she comes to all my knitting workshops and stuff too. So, and then I made another pair of gingham shorts. It was just a two-tone boxer shorts were kind of popular, so I think that's why I made all of these little boxer looking shorts. Oh my gosh, I love this next top. It's this coral color. Not a color that I wear very often, but I just thought it was so cute. This was actually very easy to make, and just the drape of this fabric looked so nice in this style. It was very delicate. I think it'd be best for like a beach cover up. Then at the end of June, I made this drop stitch tee for my friend Amelia. I really love how this one turned out. It's really cute on her, and she is learning how to knit right now. She did just knit her first sweater, so maybe I'll teach her how to do the drop stitch. But yeah, this was just a fun little piece to make, and it was perfect for summer. We're just going to take a quick break to thank the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of online classes and members, where creative professionals go to learn everything they need to go from passion to paycheck. Make 2024 the year that your side hustle comes to life. Whether you want to build a subscriber base for your email newsletter, use AI tools to increase your productivity, or open your first Etsy shop, Skillshare can help you get there. As most of you know, I do run a small business called minigru.studios, and running a small business by yourself can be so overwhelming at times. So I want to make 2024 the year that I really start organizing and prioritizing my short-term and long-term goals. One class that I've really been enjoying is called Notion for YouTube Creators: Easily Manage Your Creative Projects by Asante Bean. A lot of the time, the process for making my videos is just all over the place, in addition to the process of making multiple projects at once. And I've been using Notion for a while now, but I don't think that I ever really learned how to properly use all of the features that Notion has to offer until I took this course. And like I was saying, a big goal of mine for 2024 is to just be on a better schedule and stay more organized. So I've found that learning more about organization and streamlining my workflow will definitely be beneficial to reaching that goal. And in addition to organizing my video creation process, I learned how to organize all of my creative projects in Notion as well, like writing notes about my knitting and crochet crocheting projects. Skillshare also has classes on a wide variety of topics including graphic design, photography, fine art, marketing, productivity, freelance and entrepreneurship, crafts, and more. And if you've been itching to start your own small business or side hustle, or you want to learn a new craft or language, then Skillshare is the platform to explore. And do not wait, because the first 500 people to click the link in my description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring. Now let's get back into the video. Okay, moving on to July. So July is when I started making swimsuits because I got a serger and I just feel like swimsuits are easier to do on a serger. All of the bikinis that I made, I kind of switched my closet recently, so I don't have any of them out right now. So I made this swimsuit, which was kind of like a grayish green color, and then for the second bikini that I made, I just used this bright orange fabric, and then the top and bottom were traced from a bralette and a pair of underwear that I had. So I just traced whatever I thought was like the most flattering for a swimsuit shape. Then I started my spinning journey, so I'm just gonna include the little hanks of yarn that I spun this year. I just recently picked it up again, so I'm starting to practice again, but yeah, I had a lot of fun spinning some yarn. It's kind of crazy to think about, and so many people make like the most beautiful hand spun yarn. Then I have my favorite pants in the world. It's this fabric that I thrifted. I wear them all the time, like every single week. These are the first thing that I'm wearing out of the dryer after I do my laundry. They're just so comfy, and I want to make more pants like this, but I haven't been able to find the same fabric, but this weight of fabric is just perfect for these pants. Then I made these bloomers. This fabric was already textured like this, so I didn't have to do anything. I just had to cut up some pieces and sew them together. And then for the bloomers, I just added a little bit of elastic at the bottoms. I really love how these turned out. I wore them all the time this summer, and they're just really nice to lounge in. Then I thrifted this small quilt and I made it into a pair of shorts. So I just kept the bias tape at the bottom and used that as like the hem of the shorts. They're pretty thick because obviously it was a quilt, but that makes them super durable. So, and I got the idea for quilted shorts just by some random person that I saw walking. They were wearing a pair of quilted shorts and I thought they were so cute, so I wanted to make my own. Then I made another swimsuit, but I don't think I'm going to put in a picture because it's a little bit risque. Then I have my little fish top that I embroidered, and his name is Hank. Say hi. And I feel like I can do a better job at this now that I have my free motion embroidery foot. This guy, this was more just a fun project. I wasn't expecting it to be great, and it's just on a thrifted t-shirt. Okay, does this, oh, I have my name tag from my last knitting workshop. Does this one look familiar? Yeah, it's pretty much the same one as the one that I made for Amelia, but just a long sleeve. This was my second sweater that I knit for myself this year. I do want to be knitting more sweaters. I like to do things in a short amount of time, so when I knit sweaters, it's kind of obsessive knitting at that point because I won't put it down for days. I will say having the sleeves is a little bit impractical sometimes because they kind of catch on everything, but you know, it's supposed to look a little distressed, so it's fine. Now we're on to August, and August was a lot of shorts. So these are all the pairs of shorts that I made. This was the first prototype. As you can see, I tried to flare it out a little bit, but I ended up not loving the shape of these, but it was the prototype for these shorts, and these shorts I ran out of yarn, so I couldn't do enough rows of ribbing to avoid that curl up, but then this was the prototype for these, which I made for the knit shorts guide. So I really love these colors together, and this yarn is so soft. I am obsessed with this yarn. This is the Hobie Friends cotton yarn. I'm definitely gonna buy this yarn in more colors. I know I'm going to be wanting to make more shorts in the springtime, or maybe in the winter. Maybe I'll make some shorts with some wool because I think they would be so cute with tights. Even before I started knitting, I've always wanted a pair of cable knit shorts. So maybe that'll be my next project to tackle, and I've never done cables before. Then I also made a bunch of these little mesh caps, which I think I also put away with my summery stuff. These were so cute and fun, especially when I didn't want to do my hair that day. It's not like it's super hot because it's cotton and it's mesh. I wore one to a concert, so those were really fun. And then this next one that I knit is just a high neck top, and then I kind of had it decrease in the back. But yeah, I knit this one just hanging out by the river, and I still have it. It hasn't sold yet. And September also started off with bikinis, and it was because I ordered fabric from this place called Fashion Fabrics Club. Check them out. They had a ton of their swim fabric on sale, so I just bought a bunch, and you needed like a minimum to get free shipping. So now I have a bunch of swim fabric, but the first one that I made was this plaid bikini. It was just, again, that triangle shape. And then I also made this one that kind of had like this green palm pattern. This is actually the only swimsuit that I've left out in case I need to wear one this winter, but it's pretty much just the same shape as that orange one that I made. Then we go straight from bikinis to beanies. So I made a few different hats. I made 3 beanies in September, and then I also made this granny square helmet is what I called it because it was ginormous on me. Then then this was a commission. It's just another drop stitch tee, and it's made with this really pretty hand-dyed yarn that I found at a thrift store. I can't believe that I found that yarn at such a low price. I did a lot of random drop stitches instead of having proper stripes, and of course I added the fabric bow on that too. Then I made this tank top, and this is kind of similar to a drop stitch, but I just alternated US 19 and US 15 needles, and that was the same yarn that I used for the shell stitch skirt. And then I attended a wedding in September, so of course I had to make my own dress. So first I have the prototype of this dress. This fabric was a bed sheet, but then this was the actual dress, so I bought new fabric for this. I rarely ever buy new fabric, but I bought new fabric for this dress. I learned a lot from this dress. I learned a lot of different techniques and just fixing mistakes and stuff like that. I love this dress so much. I just don't know when I'm gonna wear it again. But I loved the color because it was a fall wedding, so I wanted to wear kind of more like a fall color. She's not perfect, but I love how it turned out, and I enjoyed the experience of making it. Okay, now we're in October, and we're approaching proper knitting season. So in October, I made so many beanies. So I'm just gonna insert a picture of all the chunky beanies that I made in October, and then I made some bonnets. This was the first bonnet, and this is the Hobie Portobello yarn. Then I wanted to try it out in this really chunky yarn, but I don't know. I feel like I did too many rows, so it ended up being kind of like big. I don't know. Does it look weird? I do want to kind of fine tune this pattern for the chunky yarn because I just feel like it's good for winter. And then I really like the colors on this one because it's just like a brighter pink. And then this has a little bit more texture to it. I think I might do a bonnet video, so let me know if you guys want to see that. Next, I crocheted this houndstooth pattern scarf. I actually learned about this stitch from an online friend. Her name is Emma. I think she watches most of my videos, so hi Emma. Thank you for showing me this stitch. And then I also made a matching headband. So this is a cute little winter set. Then I made my first pair of socks, and I'm actually wearing them right now. I wear them almost every day, I think. I just love sock knitting because you can take it wherever. Just pop it in your purse. But I'm very proud of my first socks. Then I made a pair of mittens, and these went all the way to London, which is kind of cool to think about. I used the Malabrigo Rosti yarn in the color Ivory, and I just posted a mitten tutorial, so go check that out. This bonnet, I actually really like how it turned out. It was another commission. So she wanted like a super deep charcoal color, and then I added a strand of black Surrey silk, and then she also wanted the ties to be a little bit thicker, so it covered more of the neck. I think I'm gonna make almost the exact same thing for myself because it was just so soft and cozy for the winters. Now we're in December, and I'm just gonna put in the cute little ornaments that I made. I also am gonna put my Christmas decor that I made because I was so proud of that video and it just kind of flopped, and I just want to let it have a moment. Then I made another pair of socks. This was actually Elliot's Christmas gift, and the yarn is the Cascade Wave yarn. I thought that the yarn was self-striping, but it really was just a full gradient, which I wasn't really a fan of that idea, but it ended up working out because I wound the yarn backwards, so I was starting with the opposite side, and then I moved back into like the brighter green color, as you can see. Okay, this one is technically still a work in progress, but I'm making this scarf right now, and it's the brioche stitch. So it's a two-toned brioche stitch, but on one side I switched the color. So technically a three-tone brioche stitch, but it's just a super chunky scarf. This is the Hobie Udon yarn, and I really wanted to get better at the brioche stitch, so that's why I was practicing with the scarf again, and I really am liking how it's turning out so far. I think by the time this video comes out, the scarf will be done, so I'm gonna put in some pictures. And then I made these mittens for that mitten tutorial that I was talking about. And again, this is the Malabrigo Rosti yarn in the color Matisse Blue. I just love this color, and I have a similar color in a Surrey alpaca yarn, so I think I'm gonna make a matching bandana kind of thing to go on my hair so I can wear them together. So if you want to learn how to knit mittens, go check that video out. I'll link it down below. And then in my socks video, I think I was saying that everyone was getting socks for Christmas, but then I decided that socks were going to take way too long to make everyone a pair for Christmas. So I had to select one of my family members to make socks for Christmas, and that person was my dad, so I made him these socks for Christmas. And yeah, I think he liked them. He hasn't taken them off yet. And this was the Barocco vintage yarn. Okay, I think I'm done. Was that a lot? I really can't believe that I made that much stuff this year, but at the same time, it's part of my job, so I do get how I can make so many things. Just surprised that my fingers still work. And before I go, I just want to say Happy New Year's, guys. I hope that 2024 brings you good fortune, good light, good energy, and you should be proud of yourself for everything that you accomplished in 2023 and bring that energy forward into 2024. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. It means the world to me, and I truly love all of you guys. Hopefully you got some inspiration from this video for projects to make in 2024. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like and make sure you subscribe so we can hang out. Comment down below your favorite piece that you've made this year, or maybe comment any videos you'd like to see from me in 2024. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!